Hello, we are beyond the plate. Let's take a look at this photo. Do you recognize this popular dish? Perhaps you've tried it at your local Indian restaurant. This dish is called Palak Paneer. It is a famous Indian dish, also known as spinach or green curry. It is made from Indian-style cottage cheese mixed with a creamy spinach sauce infused with different spices. Before getting into how to cook the dish, let's first learn about the background. Take a look at this map of India. Palak Paneer originates from the northern Indian region. In most restaurants, like those in US and Canada, two terms are used interchangeably, Palak Paneer and Saag Paneer. However, the terms are actually quite different. Palak Paneer, the traditional form of northern India, only contains spinach. Saag Paneer, on the other hand, contains ingredients beyond spinach. It contains other green leafy vegetables like mustard greens. The use of different greens can have an impact on the texture of the palak, which is a green paste of the curry. The serving temperature of palak paneer, like most curry, is hot. It is recommended that the dish is served hot for the optimal taste and flavor of the individual spices. Let's now talk about the two main ingredients of the dish. First is paneer, which is an Indian cottage cheese. It is created by milk curdling, a chemical reaction of fresh milk which we will specify later on. The second most main ingredient is palak, which is a green paste created by spinach. We can tell that these two ingredients are crucial as the name of the dish stems from these two ingredients.
So now we will be talking about the science of palak paneer. In order to understand the science behind making palak paneer, we must first understand the effects of citrus on milk and specifically curdling milk to make the cheese in palak paneer, which is paneer. So the first important term or definition that we need to know is acids. So in chemistry terms, an acid is a H plus or proton donor. So H plus is basically a hydrogen ion or proton because it doesn't have an electron. And examples of acids are citrus fruits such as orange and lemon, and the typical taste of an acid is sour. So along with acids, there also comes the very important term pH scale, and you've probably heard this a lot. And pH actually has a general equation, which is the negative log of the concentration of H+. And H+, as we said, are hydrogen ions or protons. And pH actually stands for potential of hydrogen. And again, in chemistry terms, pH is the measure of free hydrogen and hydroxide in the water, and it indicates the acidity and basicity of a substance on a 0 to 14 scale. And if a substance is basic, it can also be referred to as alkaline. And if a substance is more acidic, it is lower on the pH scale as seen in the diagram on the top right. And if it's higher on the pH scale, it's considered to be more basic or alkaline. So in terms of the pH scale, we'll just give the example of water or pure water. And because water is neither acidic or basic, it's neutral and therefore has a pH of 7 on the 0 to 14 scale. And the last term we need to know is casein, which is a type of protein found in milk, and it's a very important protein when it comes to making paneer and also forming the lumps that are very significant in the curdling of milk. First, milk curdling is used for many reasons as seen in the diagram, such as making cheese, yogurt, and butter. And one of the main features of curdled milk, as I said before, are the lumps of protein that form a solid substance. And this texture is achieved by adding both heat and also some sort of acid, usually citrus, as we said before, to the milk. So without an acid present, proteins in the milk, such as whey proteins and casein, repel each other. However, when the pH is lowered by an acid, the proteins are attracted to each other and form clumps called micelles. This process is sped up by adding heat to the milk because molecules are moving faster. And this is why, in order to make paneer, you must add an acid like vinegar or lemon juice to already heated milk. And the result of adding acid and heat to milk is curdled milk. And as you can see, it makes this solid substance, which are the lumps of casein protein that is characteristic to something like paneer.
So now let's get to cooking. So now we're going to talk about how to make your very own Palak Paneer by starting off with the recipe.
For ingredients, we will start with 3 to 4 cups of spinach or 500 grams of frozen spinach. For spices, we will need half a teaspoon of chili powder, a quarter teaspoon of turmeric powder, a half teaspoon of garam masala, and a half teaspoon of cumin seeds. We will also need either 1 teaspoon of fenugreek powder or half a tablespoon of dried leaves which were soaked in water. Next, you will need half a cup of chopped onions and 3 to 4 cloves of garlic and some ginger. Of course, we'll also need a few cubes of paneer, so get as much as you'd like to add. Finally, we will need around 1 cup of water. First, we will blanch the spinach. To do this, first fill a large pot with about an inch of water. Then, transfer all your spinach into the pot and turn the stove on to the highest setting. Keep an eye on this since the spinach shrinks very, very quickly. Once the spinach is blanched, turn the heat off and carefully transfer it all into a blender. Now, puree the spinach for a very short period of time since we'll be blending it more later on. The next step is to make our ginger garlic paste. Take a grater and grate 3 to 4 cloves of garlic into a bowl. Then, grab your ginger and grate it in with the garlic to taste. Once you're done, set this aside for later since you will need it further on. Now we're ready to put everything together. Start by spreading 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil around in your pan. Add in the cumin seeds and lightly coat them in the oil to toast them. Next, add in the chopped onions and begin to sauté them. Once the onions are coated in oil, let them cook for a bit without stirring them. Add in salt to taste to help the onions cook faster. Once the onions have turned translucent, add in the ginger garlic paste. It tends to clump up, so make sure to combine it evenly. Next, start to add in the spices. Start with the turmeric powder, then add chili powder and garam masala. Finally, carefully add in the fenugreek powder or rehydrated leaves. Combine everything quickly so that the spices don't burn or stick to the pan until the onions are evenly coated in spices. The next step is to transfer the spiced onions into the blender, which already has the lightly pureed spinach from earlier. The next step is to puree the onions and spinach. Open the blender and lightly stir the mixture with a spoon if required to completely combine all of the onions with the spinach. Once this is complete, pour the contents of the blender back into the pan. Turn up the heat and bring it to a boil. Lightly stir the palak to ensure it is combined. At this point, add in the paneer. Mix it into the palak and turn the heat to medium-high to allow the paneer to cook. This also lets the flavor of the palak suffuse through the paneer and give the dish a richer flavor. Once the paneer has come to a boil, you are finished. Turn off the heat and it is ready to serve. We would like to extend a special thank you to the PTA for providing us with this recipe. Thank you for watching, everyone. Today's video was created by Seeun, Eva, and Sprihaa. This has been Beyond the Plate, and we'll see you next time.